Hi, I'm Pam, and I'm here to talk about video games. Today, I'm talking about a new Metroidvania that is not only adorable, but also a lot of fun. It's Islets. Islets was developed by Kyle Thompson and released in August 2022 for PC, Switch, and Xbox. I played and recorded footage on an Xbox Series X for this review. You play a cute little mouse called Eco. He's determined to become a hero by reconnecting a series of islands which have come apart and been overrun with monsters. You start out flying in your dinky little airship, which is meant to take you from island to island, but soon find it destroyed and yourself plummeting to the ground. Now your adventure begins. If I had to pick just one word to describe Islets, it's charming. From the adorably minimalist character designs to the dialogue and the sound effects, everything is very appealing and just nice. It immediately struck me that Islets feels really good to play. Eco controls well and movements are fluid. He feels slightly floaty, like gravity is a little lighter than expected, but it works and makes jumping that much more fun. In addition to a basic melee attack, Eco has a bow with limited ammo that you can do some basic aiming with, but mostly auto-targets. Ammo is returned to you when you hit enemies with your sword, which encourages you to use both weapons. Enemies in the world aren't too difficult to deal with, but are varied in their appearance and attacks. Many are covered in spikes so you can't come in contact with them, ranged attacks are abundant, and some aggro onto you immediately. As you play and defeat bosses, you'll get new abilities. These are mostly standard: double jump, wall climb, a downward smash. The abilities that are a little more unique give different ammo types for the bow. There's a teleport and a cloud platform launcher, each of which lets you access areas you otherwise couldn't. I didn't find myself using these too much, but there are certain platforming areas where they're required. Every new movement ability makes traversal more enjoyable. Eco moves with ease, and I never found myself fighting with the controls. Boss fights require you to learn patterns and usually have two phases. You'll be fighting insects, other animals, even plants at times, and they're all much bigger than you are. I appreciated that coming into contact with bosses didn't hurt you, so you could get up close to swing away. The challenge usually comes from the ranged attacks they throw at you or the platforming they force during the fight. I did find them on the easier side, especially as the game went on and I got a lot more powerful. Phase transitions in particular allowed me to just pour damage into the enemy while they were helpless. Islets may feel familiar if you're a fan of Metroidvanias. I can definitely feel some Hollow Knight influence. However, one thing it does to set itself apart is include flying segments. Once you've defeated the first boss, you'll get a new ship and be able to fly to the city hub. Here you can talk to other characters, purchase upgrades, and receive mail. As you fly and discover new islands, you'll also come across bosses who get in your way. At first you don't have any abilities, and it's just a matter of avoiding projectiles in bullet hell-like fights. Eventually, you'll be able to shoot and even teleport a distance, letting you explore new areas and making these fights more interesting. These bosses ended up being my favorites in the game. I only wish there were a few more included and that flying around played a bigger part overall. The city hub is sparse but includes some characters to talk to. Dialogue is charming, and even the characters set up as antagonists are fun to talk to, but talking never takes up too much time. The story is set up, there are side quests to do that you can find out in the world, but the game never feels weighed down by dialogue or exposition. It's all quite snappy. Of course, one of the biggest draws of the genre for me is the map and how fun it is to explore. I'm happy to say that the world of Islets is very well constructed, filled with alternate paths, secrets, shortcuts, and upgrades to find. From the beginning, there are multiple ways of getting where you need to be. Some bosses can be tackled in different orders, and there are frequently multiple areas open to you at once. Here's where the whole island reintegration concept really comes into play. You get to explore each island, and when you activate a core that brings two of them together, more paths start opening up to you. Sometimes I wasn't quite sure where to go next, but that's part of the fun. And if you're really stuck, you can pay someone in town to put the next waypoint on the map. There are also teleporters spread somewhat haphazardly about, so you can get around the islands fairly quickly. As you explore, you'll find breakable rocks and illusionary walls which hide secrets and upgrades. There are also little platforming challenges that reward you. There are 60 upgrade tokens to find in the game, and each one gives you 3 options for an upgrade. Things like increasing your maximum arrows, making your sword stronger, or firing a downward projectile when you use double jump. You're also constantly getting currency when you defeat enemies, smash jars, or even select it from an upgrade token that can be used to buy more upgrades to your health and power in town. One of the big ticket items will mark all secrets on the map, which is great for when you're going for 100% completion. I appreciated running into other characters while exploring. A sketchy tour guide gave me a number of chuckles, as well as a really suspicious feeling. Snoot, our nemesis, never failed to entertain with his misplaced confidence, and Greybird usually needed our help or encouragement. You also get some letters from people at home that are incredibly sweet. The game's art style may not appeal to everyone, but I found it very charming. All of the characters and even the bosses are cute. The hand-painted backgrounds are colorful and bright, and each different zone has its own unique look and feel. The music is great, ranging from calm electronic sounds to more upbeat and dramatic music during the boss fights. The whole package just comes off as incredibly wholesome and cozy. Islets has 3 different difficulty modes which can be changed at any time. I played on normal and found it a bit easy. I'm not complaining though. It was actually a nice break from all of the Metroidvanias lately billing themselves as punishing Souls-likes. Generally, I was able to kill bosses within 2 or 3 attempts, and deaths while exploring were minimal aside from a couple harder sections right near the end of the game. When you do die, you'll respawn at the closest checkpoints and don't lose anything, which is so refreshing. There are also a number of basic accessibility options like increasing font size and turning off text effects and screen shake. Islets took me 11 hours to 100%, and after beating it, a boss rush mode opens up. Islets is a delight. It's a charming and fairly relaxing experience that I enjoyed from start to finish. The movement feels good, the world is interesting to explore, and I really liked the addition of the flying segments to change things up a little. If you're looking for a Metroidvania that doesn't try to be overly punishing or dark, Islets is for you. Hello. Don't let me disturb you. Don't let me disturb you. I'm just filming this video and this is what I have to deal with over here. Hi, Lily. Say hello. Say hello. If you want more Metroidvanias, watch my review of Ender Lilies, or check out the whole playlist. I have a Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.